Good evening, everyone. I am in a reasonable condition to be here. I also have a very, very special guest. I have another YouTuber with me who I did not honestly expect to come up with me, but we have Demon Becca down here, and
Hello.
she has done more videos than I have. So just
Oh.
to put it out there, yes, I'm aware that every YouTuber that I have on is bigger than me. But she does a lot of unboxings, a lot of buildings, and her partner does painting as well. So there is a crossover in case you're wondering. She doesn't do any painting. Her partner does that bit. My
I
partner
do a bit.
gets
I'm not very good though.
not my words. Not my words. Not my words. But yes, hello, Becca. How are you this evening?
I'm really good. How are you, Laz?
I'm doing a lot better, and yes, as Ali has pointed out, how am I feeling? I'm doing a lot better, Ali. Thank you very much. I'm no longer bedridden, which is always a good thing. But yeah, Becca's agreed to come and talk to me this evening about various gaming, modeling, painting, annoyances, happinesses, and things that just happen within the hobby that she may have noticed, I may have noticed. We just irritate us both, or we can talk about. It's quite an open conversation. While I also try to paint. Now, a lot of people have been saying you don't have a good reference for the size of these things, so I've got a ruler. So this one stands approximately just over a centimeter tall, not including the base. Centimeter and a half if we're being very, very generous with the tail. So we are talking tiny model this evening. Mick, it is good to see that you are already way. Yeah, I've still got to pay for my consultation on that one, but we'll see. Maybe in the future I shall be joining you with that one. Now, Becca may not wish to be associated with anything like that, so we will leave those type of things available.
I'm all right, whatever.
All right, okay, then we're fine. So yes, yes, Mick, I have started my application to try and get the medical, so I can start having those as well, which would be absolutely wonderful if it would happen. But until that happens, I'm going to have to make do with painting to be my main form of distraction. And I've literally just sat here for about the last half an hour talking with Demon Becca. I had all my paints out, I had them all shaking up, and now what can I not find? The first paint I wish to use. Oh, there it is. It's hidden behind my light. So you could have all told me. I'm not wearing my glasses, Ali. Last time it gave me a ridiculous headache when I doubled it up with these. What I've done is I've just lowered the magnification on these so I can use them more as glasses. So yeah, I basically trial and error by getting splitting headaches. But it works. It worked. And I now have the correct magnification to not give myself a splitting headache. It only took me 2 streams, in fairness, to figure that one out. Which for me is fast. Which for me is very fast. So I count that as a win. Most people probably wouldn't, but I do. So yeah, Becca, we're on D&D tonight with this painting. I know you're much more comfortable with a good old AOS or 40k. You'll be much more comfortable with who are sat here with Marines. But I do have a rogue kitty cat to paint this evening. So keep your wallets to hand. Make sure you know where anything is that might go missing. You know what these rogues are like. Dexterous little fingers, sleight of hand, and all it takes is a nice 18 and a D20, and you've lost everything. And people sat there going, what on earth are you talking about?
That's a very high roll.
Well, that's a guarantee. That's the only way to guarantee you'll lose everything.
That's true.
Yeah. If it was a 16, they might have only got away with your money pouch. If it's an 18, then now they've stripped you off completely and you're walking around with your boxers wondering why it's drafty. And going, I could have sworn I put clothes on this man. Not the cat's had the lot. All gone. So I'm going to start with essentially contrast black to get the fur. because I did the slap chop method to bring out all the raised details, as well, a lot of you are already familiar with, is called heavy dry brush with ivory first, just so I can see what the hell I'm painting. And then paint back over it again with the actual colour that you want. It's a wonderful technique. Well, painting in 2 stages. Have we had Sparkles in chat yet? I'm not even going to respond to. I don't even know how to respond to that one. I think Becca would know how to respond to that one, to be quite honest.
I think a no comment.
No. Okay. Yeah. It's just yeah. I mean, I'm an open advocate for it. I'm aware of the medical benefits as well as some of the downsides that some people portray to it, but I'm certainly an advocate for it having benefits. Not to say it's beneficial for everybody, though. Some people should never touch it in their lives because it is bad for the problem, but not everybody.
Nice to meet you too, Alison.
Yes, Ali is an absolutely wonderful person. I've got to say, Ali is one of. I would actually go as far as say my second biggest supporter, mainly because my missus is in the kitchen making me a brew. She hears me say anything different, I'll probably get the brew over my head. So Ali, you've got to be downgraded to second after Sparkles Oak, of course, and I'm sure you'll agree with that one. Good evening, Buzzard. How you doing, man? So going back to what we were saying before we actually started, Becca. You're more of an AOS collector.
Yes.
A 40k collector. Now, I don't know much. I know a little bit about AOS. I know that stupid Chaos won, and Sigma had to then start ripping souls from people and reusing them in the Forge, which is why we now have these Sigmarines.
Yes.
But I'm not too sure on a lot of the other stuff, because now we're talking, like, I know what happened to Archaon's horse. He ate some greater demons. Not quite sure how a horse eats a greater demon, but he did and becomes one himself. But there's a lot of things that have changed within the setting from when I played it.
No, and I'm going to be honest with you. I completely am lost on half of it. I mean, it's love it. Love, I just love the models, love the setting. But if you ask me like the deep lore stuff, I will literally say, no idea.
Right, okay. So I was just wondering, because there was one specific character I used to have. Because as everybody does when they first start out, they end up with a 2-player box set.
Yes.
And depending on how you got the box set, so in my case, my friend bought the box set, so he got to choose the army to keep.
We all do that, though, don't we?
Yeah, pretty much. At least at one stage in our gaming and hobbying career, we all do that. So I ended up with Dark Elves.
Okay, Dark Elves are cool.
They were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I had the bolt throwers, and I had Marathi
Ooh,
on a horse.
nice.
Now this was
He's very different now.
yes, and that was going to be my next question. It's like, what happened
What the hell?
to Marathi?
Yeah, I know, right?
Because when I had her, she was a dark elf that could either be walking along or on a horse, and now she's
like a fantasy boss, isn't she?
Yeah, I can't remember what the species, the fantasy species is called, but half snake people.
Yeah,
and it's like she's like so much bigger, and it's like, what happened to her? Because she must have swallowed something big to get like that. Yes. Especially if that's how it works with the horse, because obviously the little horse swallows 3 greater demons, becomes great big whopping thing. So I'm guessing she did something similar.
Yes, it's all the Daughters of Cain, isn't it? It's all a bit like, what on earth's going on?
But I thought they were all Slaneshi.
Yes, me too. But apparently they're not. Well, they are, but they're not.
Oh. Well, that was an eye opener straight away, because I thought they were all Slaneshi. Hello, Sparkles Oak. See, as you were saying that your partner will be going around in the background, my partner will be sitting there as a moderator, making sure I'm keeping well behaved. So, yes. Hello. Thank you for the cup of tea. So, yeah, that's the black bit done. That was easy enough. There wasn't much black to actually do in it, in fairness. Most of it's brown. I've just got to now figure out where all the brown bits start and where all the different brown bits finish. Now that's going to be a tough one. So I'm going to ask my wonderful guest here. You know, basically the quilted. There is I don't know if you can see that section there. It's kind of like a quilted padded leather, and I'm unsure of which shade to go for.
Ooh, okay. I think
because I've also got pouches and straps and other things to be doing.
I would go then. So the pouches and straps are lighter. I'd go far right.
This one.
Yeah.
So this one for the
main bulk.
Right. And then do the straps more like that one, and then some of the in-betweeny ones. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a rough idea of which order to do things on now, so I should be able to crack on.
Was that the right answer?
There is no right answer. There is no right answer. We're painting. There is no right answer. These done or not, and it will be done by the end. Hopefully, if I can stay on target with the others, it'll take me approximately an hour and a half to complete the model. Approximately. That's going off the fact that the other three were all bigger and had slightly more detail, I'd say. Not a lot more, but slightly more, because there was bigger things to see. Let's get into the areas. Oh, this is the difficult bit, because not all of it is actually the patched quilted leather. Although there's quite a fair bit of it. And manoeuvring is going to be the key to this one, I think, as opposed to colour toning. I think is going to be, yeah, it's how I manoeuvre the model to get the paint on is going to be the key for this one, I think. Because as I'm looking through it, I'm realizing that not all of that quilted backpack, that quilted patch is actually quilted patch and is other things now. It's one of the small annoyances of when you're actually trying to paint something, you realize, oh, wait a minute.
It's so small.
I know.
Why did you do this to yourself, Laz?
I didn't. This story gets told on everyone since I'm doing these cats, so I'm going to tell it again. Sparkles Oak ordered these one day, and she didn't realize how small they were. Okay. They came through the door, and while I was outside, I got a shout saying, "They're here!" And they were sat on my desk, and I could hear little feet tick-tacking upstairs, running away. Because when they arrived, she realized how small they actually were, and immediately started saying, "Sorry, I didn't realize." And just like, no, fair enough. I've agreed to paint them, so I will still paint them. But it will put literally my entire motor functional skills to the test. Good evening, Captain. I am so sorry that I missed your stream the other night, mate. I wasn't well, and I haven't been well for the last few days. I'm barely well enough, to be quite honest, to be up doing this now, but I'm feeling better. But on that note, if you wish to do something tomorrow night, then I should be able to jump up and do some fantasy football stuff tomorrow night. And to answer the question of who is Becca, Becca is a fellow YouTuber within the modeling, gaming, miniatures community. She does unboxings and buildings. She's a smart one, you see. What she does is she does the easy bit and gets a fellow to do the hard bit.
It's good.
Yeah.
And I talk about the lore and I just ramble on, basically. It's good fun.
Yeah. So essentially, I'm hoping Beck kind of covers for me a little bit tonight. So the bits when I'm really, really concentrating, she can
Oh, no.
give me random bits of lore that I don't know. Especially when it comes to Age of Sigmar, because there's going to be loads of bits that I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
You don't have to. I'm only joking. But yeah, if you wish to bring up a conversation, I'm not going to stop you.
That's all good. I've been brushing up on Mechanicum and Horus Heresy and the 40k, the 31st Millennium stuff at the moment. So that's what I've been trying to learn a bit more about. But yes.
Technically, isn't the 31st Millennium stuff the precursor to the Indomitus?
Yes. Before all the shit hit the fan, as they say.
Post-heresy, pre-Indomitus.
Yes.
So when Tactical Marines were good.
Yes.
Right. So yeah. So basically, when half of my army was usable on the tabletop. Are you back with 20 questions? And no fantasy football this week. All right. Okay. Fair enough. No fantasy football this week because I was supposed to jump up on Friday with you, and instead I got home and was ill. Yay. Not the best way to start off. But yeah. Hopefully I will be available for the next one. In fact, I should be setting off early for the next one. So I'm home in time. And I don't have that little risk of not being well. I don't think the quitting smoking helped either. Because that was really playing on me. It's quite a difficult thing if no one's ever done it before.
Many, many years ago.
So you've already been through the pain and the trials and tribulations of giving up.
Yes, it was not easy. Just fill the gap with alcohol, but don't recommend that.
No. You see, I quit alcohol first.
Oh, right.
Many moons ago, and now I'm deciding to give up smoking. So,
well done.
I'm unhappy to say I failed miserably over the weekend, but I'm.
Well, you were poorly, so you needed something to take the edge off, surely.
Yes, I did need something, and not as much as I usually would have, which is good. So normally I would have been out as a smoker. I would have gone out and smoked like a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
However, because I was ill, I was lucky enough to get out for 3 over the entire weekend.
Oh, that's nothing.
My lungs didn't think so.
Oh.
My lungs certainly didn't think so.
I'm not a good influence, am I? Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I have enough bad influences in my life to be able to go, no, that's nothing. So, yeah. I did okay-ish on Friday compared to what I thought I was going to do.
So what bit are you painting now? Is that the bedroll? Is that some sort of...
That is going to be a bedroll, yes. Well, what I think is a bedroll. It looks like a bedroll. It kind of jumped out at me to go, I want to be painted like a bedroll.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for that, and then realised I've got brown straps.
Oh.
But of course, the bedroll's got to be held on with something, and you don't find that out until you've painted around it. Which is the nice way of finding out you've got something to paint. Now I wanted to light strapping, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, light strapping, dark padding for the saddly bit. Not that it's got a saddle, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So if the quilted bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Can I get that light to actually show this any better? This light is just really not helping me today. How about if I move it away? Does that help? Everything's trial and error on this one, Becca. I've got to say, everything's always trial and error.
It's all good.
So yeah, you can see it's gone darker brown on there. When am I actually going to play? Well, I'm going to play once I've finished the terrain for the board, and I've had to take a little detour from the terrain for the board because my opponent has requested me to paint 6 little kitty cats. In the meantime, as almost a payment of making her go through this, I'm just really common, Captain. Come on, you've met me. You've met me. I'm about as common as to get, mate. You know this. Don't try and play it up as though I'm someone I'm not. You know I'm about as common as, yeah. Are we past the 15-minute mark? Yeah, we are. Cool. I'm about as common as pig and shit, mate. They have the 15-minute thing on YouTube. I'm sure you're aware. That,
I did just swear earlier. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm small enough that I don't get flagged for this crap.
Okay.
It's great. all these channels go, oh, I can't swear within the first because they're gonna flag me for something. I'm so small that YouTube are going, can we flag him? If we put a flag in, is it gonna be too? I can't. Nope. Flag's too big, won't fit. So they can't flag me because I'm too small. It's great. It has its advantages.
That's fine.
It has its disadvantages as well. Don't get me wrong.
Laz is very common and northern, Captain.
Yes. Well, I've actually met Captain in real life. It was actually my birthday present.
Oh.
To go over and see Captain.
Just read it. That came out really rude.
Yeah. My birthday present. Me and my missus went over and went to basically where Captain is, and yeah, I met Captain. Kind of hijacked a gig he was going to, saying, "Look, I'm coming with you," and yeah, we got on. You remember me saying I was on a pan? I got my name via a panel show. Mm-hmm. Captain was also on that panel show.
Oh, nice.
Now he's the only non-YouTuber that I know who still has more subscribers. So don't say you're not a YouTuber, mate, because you are. He has way more subscribers. For what he says he's doing next to nothing, which I'll agree with him on that one. Because he doesn't have a specific channel thing. He doesn't have a set. For instance, mine is a painting channel, a hobby painting channel specifically. That he doesn't have such a strict guideline he has to stick into. Yeah, see, not interested in monetization, plenty of subs, but no watch hours. And that's where it comes. That's a bugger, that is. Because the watch hours is kind of what you need.
It is. It's a nightmare.
And I'm never going to get it, so I'm not even going to pretend that I could ever hit that number. He wants something like 5,000 watch hours in a year. It's like, yeah,
it does, and it's stupid.
It's like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to hit that. Not this year, not next year, maybe in a decade, possibly.
And that's just the start, isn't it? You get the watch hours, and I imagine that you've got to like keep going, keep getting more and more stuff to try and. I bet you get 50p in the post, you know.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never been. I'm not even being remotely qualified to be monetized. I do know people who are monetized, but I don't pry into.
No, which is monetized. My husband, but I'm not monetized.
So you probably do actually have more of an inclination to how much you get than we do. It's just that you're being very shrewd about it.
He doesn't tell me.
He doesn't tell you?
No.
Oh no.
I might demand money, mightn't I?
Yeah, it's just grab a hold of that bank statement one day. Just. Oh, sorry, I thought it was mine. It's what? And about you said I couldn't afford to get that dragon.
Or get Smaug, that'd be nice.
Oh, Smaug. Oh, that big chaplain-looking guy on that big dragon thing.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah,
there's so many massive models coming out that it just looks so amazing.
There are. I mean, I'm banned from buying full price models just because of quantity anyway. It's like just get the ones I've got painted first, and that's going to take me another year just to bring them all up to what the current standard is. Because I'm going to have to go back through the ones that I started with the channel and then repaint all those up to the new current standard, and then realize that I've actually got better then I have to paint the other ones back up to what is now the current. So I'm going to be painting my Space Marine armor for about the next 7 years. As it gets slowly, I progress better and better and better and better and better. So that's going to be a fun job. Oh, I really don't want to have to paint this bit brown. Oh well, it's going to have to be. You're going to have a nice brown line across your backside. Well, she's got a strap holding potions.
Oh, okay.
So she's got 2 little potions. They're very
Oh,
valid
yes.
looking things.
I was just thinking they do look like it, like they could be, yes, but that's fine. And on the other side as well. I just bought on the other side.
Yeah, so it does balance out.
Yes.
It does balance out. Now I'm going to have to go back through it. Now, this is the one thing I'm really bad at, is keeping up with chat, which is usually why Captain is up here with me if he comes up, because he's absolutely brilliant at taking care of chat for me. At least making me aware of things that are happening. So I'm just going to have a quick scroll back, because the last thing I actually remember seeing was Captain commenting on how posh I'm not. Monetization, yeah, YouTube's just a hangout place. I don't. It's a good hangout place if you can find the right people. We just happen to have come across a few nice ones, Captain. That's all. We've come across a few assholes as well, but we've weeded them out over time. Some of the good ones have disappeared over time as well, which I've got to say, some of that partially down to me why they don't come. Right. So your dog is Maddie's doing well, which is Captain's dog, by the way. Obviously, this is weird for you because you're walking into a very small community where people know each other, and you're thinking, well, these are all. I do understand it might be slightly odd for you, Becca.
It's all right.
But yes, Captain has a dog called Maddie, and she's an absolutely beautiful little thing.
I wish we could see photos on here, really, and share photos of the dog.
I need Captain's permission to do that.
Okay.
Or actually, I don't need Captain's permission to do that. I need to do this. And then Captain can give himself permission to do that if he wishes to.
Ooh.
With the link, Captain can bring himself up, and if I can do it on here, he can do it on here. So he's kind of like my really thankful for having him helper. You're in bed, right? Okay. Does that mean I've got to go find you myself? Is there any on there? You're going to go make me find you myself now, aren't you? I don't want to go through Facebook, though. I'm going to have to, because it's the only way I can get a picture of that dog. And I'm only going to do it if I can do it without names. So this is going to be fun. Bear with me. And I get sidetracked so easily. This is just so I don't even know where I'm looking. How do you use Facebook?
Oh, don't ask me. Terrible place.
Aha. There's his thingy.
Oh, God, not that again.
See all of them. Now I need to find a picture of Doggo. There's a photo of Doggo. And is there any way I can... Aha!
Oh, Baptin, I might be a weirdo, though.
There's almost a guarantee. She's on my channel. Anyone who appears on my channel, you can guarantee, certainly has at least one screw loose. Now, this, I hope, will work. Share screen. And I specifically want that one. And that is Captain's little doggo.
Oh my god, she's
Such
lovely.
a beauty. She is such a beautiful little doggy, isn't she?
Oh.
She's such a gorgeous little doggo. Let's remove that and put it back to. I forgot where I'm supposed to be. Am I supposed to be on that one? No, I'm supposed to be on that one. That one. I have too many of these things.
Oh, we are, Alison. We all are.
Yeah, completely and utterly nuts. And the craziest one out of all of you is Sparkles. Because she puts up with me when I go offline.
She has to.
Yeah, she doesn't have to. In fairness, she could lock me. She could lock me out if she wanted to. But yeah, she puts up with me, and I love her for it, as well as other reasons. But it's definitely one of the things. It's definitely one of the more endearing things that make me like her. The fact that she can actually stand me. Don't know how. Don't know why. Whoa, that was way too much. You can always tell when someone's just slipped with the paint because they make silly little noises. Now, is that a darker or a lighter brown? Then it's not going to make much of a difference. It's going to be the cloak anyway, which is this section. Oh dear Lord, how on earth? How did they even sculpt this? Never mind, they expect us to paint it. She's got a cloak underneath her backpack. What? And Games Workshop puts a lot less effort into their models than this and gets good results. Come on, you don't have to put ruffles of a cloak underneath something that's a millimeter off its base. You can just let us pretend it's there. You know, theatre of the mind, D&D, what it was originally built on. Oh yeah, Sparkles is definitely slumming it. You've made that one perfectly clear. With him meeting both me and my partner, he correctly pointed out that she's punching well below her weight class when she went with me. Which was nice of him to say as a friend of mine, isn't it? So the orangey one for the braces. And why have I got a feeling that these braces are going to have a pattern on them? Should we have a small bet, Becca, just to see if these braces have a pattern on them or not?
Yeah, go on then. What's the bet?
I don't know. I'll let you think of the conditions while I try and finish out how I'm going to finish painting this. Nothing too daft. A model, a mention, a cameo, a silly song. I'm not particularly bothered, but something that you would be willing to do should there be silly little things on this, and something that I'm going to have to do if there are not silly little things on this. Something we can do. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, the bet will be, well, no, because I can't, because Sparkles gets to choose which one comes next. You have a good night, Captain.
Yeah, good to meet you, Captain.
Now, I know he said sort of because no video, but I've already just had that discussion. I have seen Becca's face. Real person. Honestly. Oh, there we go. See, real person.
I'm a real person.
There you go. So, yeah, Becca is a real person.
Yes.
To be quite honest, our entire meeting was I think it was a complete coincidence, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I think so it was on Threads, wasn't it? I think, and
Yeah,
we found each other. Yeah,
and neither one of us has actually got a clue what Threads actually is.
no, we're kind of new to it, and it was like, oh, Warhammer friends.
It's like, yay, friends! Okay,
It
there we
works.
go, and that was it.
Yeah.
Then obviously I found Becca's channel, subscribed, watched a few of the unboxing videos, went, I can't watch too many more of these. You've got all the models that I want.
Sorry.
You're unboxing all these boxes that I would be unboxing. I can't. It was almost torture.
Yeah, it's a pleasure and a curse.
It is. Now, obviously, I'm aware of box sets cost a lot.
Yes.
They do cost a lot, but they are the better option if you're going to go into this hobby, rather than buying individual units and literally metering it to unit by unit. Buying box sets is the best way to get into it because you get a whole crap load of models. You might not want them all, but you'll want a lot of them. It's like how I built my Tyrannid army. I got 2 Leviathan boxes, I got 2 Norns, and I got a Neurolictor. Ta-da! I've got a Tyrannid army that's got lots of little bugs and lots of big bugs. So it's a bit of a take on all comers. And the game Captain was referring to earlier is Sparkles Oaks will be playing the Tyrannid army, and I will be playing a non-meted Space Marine army to face it. I had to put that non-meta in because of the sheer amount of Space Marines that I have. I could go, right, I know exactly what you're taking because I've built the army. So I'm going to take this, and this, because I know it's going to counter everything you've got. So I've gone away from that, and I've decided Gravis is going to be the way to go. So that should be fun. A nice Gravis armored Space Marine setup, which I hope is going to work.
I mean, to be fair, I really like the games within the games, like Necromunda, where it's not, you've got like a board game within the actual Warhammer universe rather than playing a battle against each other, which I quite enjoyed. But the fact it was more of a
Necromunda is an awesome game, but I've been banned from my local friends from playing that.
Oh, why not?
There's a small saying that even my son has picked up on, and is I've been ruining games since the day I was born. I have an innate ability to figure out mechanics.
Oh.
So I look at, for instance, I looked at Necromunda, and even from the first edition of Necromunda, I liked the Vansar. So I said, right, okay, I'm going to be Vansar.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, build your gang. So I went 1 leader, 2 champions, 3 gangers, 6-man gang to start with. Everybody else is, even Sparkles Oak, which is my missus, saying, true, I take the fun out of gaming. That's my missus. She's agreeing with me on this. And even when I was playing against the 8 or 9-man Cawdor gangs, I was picking them off with combi plasmas before they could even get close to me with 2+ ballistic skills. Oh. And if they did get close to me, then 3 gangers with power knives would just jank them. And I was taking on Goliath, so I was taking on Escher, and essentially it was the same tactic. It was range. Now you're too close, power knife to death.
Oh. Games Workshop needs you to test these games, clearly.
Well, that's not what got me banned. Oh. What got me banned was we was running all 6 gangs, but there was only 3 of us playing. So somebody had to take the opposing gang at some point. So I got to be playing the Orlocks for this instance, and they had a heavy stubber, and I found a nice high vantage point. and he wasn't quite as accurate with his deployment as he thought he was behind cover. So for my first activation, I activated my heavy stubber, killed his leader outright, and panicked the 3 guys around him. And he lost on first turn. He ran. He just fled. Gone. On turn 1, I got to shoot one thingy, and his gang ran. And it was at that point he said he wasn't going to play me anymore. Because I used his gang and used it the way it was supposed to be used.
You didn't cheat.
I didn't cheat. I just didn't quite play it. I didn't ask the question of, are they supposed to be fully hidden? Before we decided to start.
Yeah.
And we started. I thought, ooh, I can see them. They're behind cover. Sod it. I'll just shoot anyway. And hit with a rapid fire 2 weapons. And he was not happy. Especially because he just lost the game before as well. But that was 2 non-entity gangs. That was just 2. Both was just filling in to make up the numbers gangs. And that was the Delac and Cawdor. And I won with the Delac because he built them with long rifles. It's a clever idea that was. Long rifles and web guns. Yay. So he kind of shot himself in the foot on that one, but obviously with my ability to go, oh, so that's how they work. Okay. I just did it and gunned him off the table. Same thing happened in 8th edition for 40k. He hated my rerolls because I got to reroll pretty much everything. My Space Marines are a Salamander's successor. And in 8th edition, you got to reroll one dice, either hit, wound, or damage. I think it was, or hit and wound anyway. And if you had a captain nearby and a lieutenant nearby, you got to reroll 1s on all them as well. So I was pretty much rerolling all 1s and then one other every time I rolled to hit and to wound. So I got took out of playing 40k for a while as well. Oh, it goes worse than that. I've not played FIFA since FIFA 13 for the same reason as I could legally foul you and get away with it. And nobody else could. So I don't know how I did it. They didn't know how I did it, but it was really annoying for them. I can quite understand somebody getting away with fouling you every time and running off with the ball, and whenever you try it, you give away a free kick. So I got banned from FIFA since FIFA 13. I've not been allowed to play FIFA against my friends since.
Where are we at on FIFA? What year are we now?
Well, we're in 2024, so I've not been allowed to play it for the last 11 years.
Oh my god!
So yeah, this is not a new occurrence. So yeah, 11 years I've not been allowed to play FIFA.
You could argue it's not a great loss.
I used to really enjoy it. It was a fun game. It was a challenge, is what I used to like about it. As opposed to that bet, there is one thing on one leg. Ali, please don't bring this up.
Have I been glamping? I've been camping, but I've never been glamping. I'm not posh enough for glamping. I sound posh enough for glamping, but I'm not posh enough for glamping.
Ali is determined to get me glamping.
I've heard it's very, very good. But I've just been camping, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, camping seems fine for me. Give me a tent, give me a yoga mat and a sleeping bag. I'll be okay. That's camping.
Yes.
I don't see the point in glamping. You might as well just get a hotel. Oh, that's just my personal opinion, though. I mean, glamping is a very big business, so there's lots of people who disagree. Glamping is Yeah, they're going, no, glamping's a good thing. I beg to differ. But if somebody likes glamping, that's for them. I can't really criticize. I play with little plastic soldiers. at the age of 40. So, yeah. I'm not really in a position to be criticizing somebody for choices or something they enjoy to do in their free time.
I can't believe you're 40, Laz.
Yes, I turned 41 this year.
Oh, happy birthday.
Not yet, but thank you. Not yet. I'm holding on to that 40 as long as I can. No, Mick, I'm not having a fly in the hotel room while I'm glamping. Because if you're the fly, that fly's going to be making some very odd noises. And it might be quite off-putting, especially with rhythm. Because I know what you're getting at with that. I know what you're getting at. So, yeah, having a little fly going zzz, 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 in the wall is just no. Yeah, the kids would consider, really? The kids would consider glamping. These are our kids we're on about here. But I know what you was insinuating, Mick. Don't call me daft. Again, I've met you. I've seen what you're like. I've had to sit there next to some poor boy while you're talking across us both to his girlfriend. So I'm fully aware of what you're like, Mick. And I know it was all a joke, and it was all taken in that way, but yeah, I know what you're like. And you're worse than me, which is to say something. And I put down the toned down version of me on here. That's my next character of Laz. Glamping at Glastonbury.
Oh, posh people do that.
Yeah. Can we, if we do, can we make sure when it's all the knobheads out there? It's like somewhere in the middle of, I don't know, January? No, we don't want the music because that is just full of ridiculous, bloody, overpaid, under-knowledgeable rich kids that just go because it's Glastonbury and it's got the history to it.
Mm.
It is no longer the hippie festival it used to be. It is no longer the rock festival it evolved to be. And it is now the debacle that we see every year of people. Something went wrong.
Capitalism.
Yes, sure. Mick, I'll have you know that was a privilege because I met you. I don't drink. Certainly don't drink beer. And when Joey came over, we came to see you, and we went to a bar. I caved and said I will have a drink, and because the only thing I can drink is rum, therefore it was a double rum. Well, you sat there and had a beer, but yeah, I caved on that one because I don't drink. So I did that for you, mate. I did that for you because I did happen to have 2 joints in my pocket instead, which I was intending to have. Sorry,
I need to go. I need to go home. I need to go home now.
I need to go home. That is perfectly fine. There is no time scale for you to actually stay.
Okay, I've got to go to bed because I've got to go to the office tomorrow, and life is awful.
Oh dear.
Yes.
You do have my sympathies for that. I'm not allowed to go into offices. I'm not insured.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
I have an adult.
I'd like the money for being an adult, to be quite honest, but I'm not allowed to at the moment.
Oh,
But thank you for coming up to join me, Becca. My streams, this happens. I try to keep it every Monday about 9:30. At any point, if you pop in the chat and go, pop me the link, not a problem. Same way as I did tonight, I'll just send it to you, and you can
okay.
pop up
I mean,
if you want.
if you enjoyed me being, I'm sorry I wasn't very interesting.
You're about as interested as me, so I can't really complain.
Okay, that sounds good.
And as have anybody in chat had any complaints with Becca here this evening? Because I haven't. Good evening, Angie. And or should I say, is it good morning for you? Yeah, evening, morning.
Hey, Angie.
Angie is one of my American friends.
Angie
so
looks gorgeous.
Angie's artwork is absolutely. Angie can do portrait art, as in canvas, brush, that type of thing.
Proper art.
Yeah, proper art. So yeah, Angie's very good at art. She also does pouring arts as well, which are quite nice. If you like them, so I know some people don't. I do. So I was like, oh, they look nice. But yes, quite a very talented lady is Angie. But as you said, you need to go to sleep. I do not wish to keep you longer than you wish.
I get
but
told
thank
off
you
by
very
my
much.
boss.
You've been told off by the boss. Okay. Then thank you very much for joining me. And in future, if you wish to, just please say so. It's been a pleasure to have you up.
No, thank you so much for inviting me. Bye, everyone. Have a lovely evening.
And you just click that little Leaf Studio button, and that is you done. There we go. Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Becca, for coming up this evening. Now, Becca is a very, very recent acquaintance regarding the Hobbit community. So hopefully we will see more of her. Fingers crossed. Whether it be just unboxing or maybe even doing a little painting or a little bit of modeling and putting together herself, which would be nice. It would nice to see more people modeling on this program rather than just me painting random little bits as I come across them. So let's get the end of these bedrolls done a bit better so it stands out more against the brown patch at the back. We don't going to get it all covered completely because we still want some of that tongue coming through if we can get it. And then hopefully I can move on to the slightly phallic symboled pouches. Because out of all of them, this one's going really, really bloody well for me, and I don't understand why. Goggles down. Yellowy brown eyes. Which is the one thing I really hate doing, although, oh, you can actually see them on this one. I'm not going for more than a single cat a night. I don't think I could take it. I really don't think I could take it. But I am going to have to try and think of a different method of which to. All right, let's put a little bit of silver on the tail tip. Almost like that's going to be a sharp, spiky point. So there's something nice and almost like they're going to fling off a throwing star from the tail. Now, I'm not sure if those actually are throwing stars on the back. But I'm going to paint them that way. And I want the tiniest brush I've got. A different method. A different method? Okay, right. I'm lost for a minute now. You know what I'm like? If it's been more than 3 seconds, then it's probably gone out of my head. So could you elaborate just a little bit, please? I'm using pretty much the same method that I use, I think. I hope I'm using pretty much the same method that I use across all the others. Well, that's what I hope I'm doing anyway. Because I was saying something for a different method, then I stopped. Oh, right, yes. For the backpack here, I've used a different method as opposed to painting it one of the browns that I normally would have done. And what I've done is I've painted it ivory and then use a contrast paint over it just to try and get a different brown on it, which has kind of worked. I am going to find a small dry brush just to help it a little. That is way too big of a dry brush. I need to find a small enough brush I can use as a dry brush to try and make it work. That one should work. And once that's dry, I can give it a little bit of a, hopefully, if I can just get a little bit of ivory, just a little bit. A bit more than that, please. And remove most of the paint off it in the usual manner of skin to skin contact. And then if I can just it's too much. Too much. A little bit of brown. Just mix that in with the ivory instead. Then wash the that looks a very, very familiar color and I don't like it. Mostly parents will recognize that color, I should imagine. And if you do, then I feel sorry for you because it's not a nice color to recognize. So if I go for that method of it, makes it a nice, it gives it a good variance of browns across. See, it doesn't like focusing that close. And you cannot see any detail. You've lost me with the antis. So I'm not too far off. I'm just going to grab my super fine brush for a minute Pop the levels back down so I can get in there for a buckle. And get in there for a couple of buckles. That's nicely done. Then a little bit of no. Oh, right, yeah. And aunties can also recognize that color as well. Anyone who looked after kids will recognize that color, and it is not a pleasant color to recognize. And if you do recognize it, please keep it to yourself, because I'm sure everybody else in the comment section doesn't actually want to know what that color represents. That's such a lovely color that it is. Now let's water down that black a little bit so I can get it in and amongst the silver rather than having to pull out a big bunch of normal oil. Okie dokie. Now, let's see, we have this color brown, which is the back color brown. So it's going to lighten it slightly. A little bit too much in that case. And we're just going to see if we can start picking out a few more of the little triangles in here. A little bit lighter if I have to. Trying to blend it up so it's not too much of a stark contrast between the light and the dark shades. I shall let Sparkles answer that one because we have been having a conversation, but no definitive answer just yet. So maybe you'll get a definitive answer rather than me, Ali. Now, I believe she's going to at least attempt to make a model. Whether it's on camera is a different matter. But I believe she is going to try and make and at least put together a Space Marine. Mainly because I have Space Marines. Look, it is really easy, and I will be talking you through it if you're like, I don't know how to. Like, well, we start at that number, and then we'll move to that number, and then we'll move to that number, that number, that number. I should still have the relative instructions somewhere under there somewhere to be able to put those assault intercessors together. If not, we can just do the primary's lieutenant with the shield and the sword, and he's pretty much follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and done. Very, very easily. Very, very easy. The lieutenant's the easiest model because he's just one person on a sprue. He just has a lot more detail to him. In fact, in a moment, because I've got to let a little bit of this dry, because I am going to have to put a bit of a wash over the back of that now. Just to try and deepen those recesses again. Again, just on the edges of the bedroll to show that it is actually a bedroll and not just a nice ivory piece of thing across its back. Now, I do have a lot of models to practice painting on, and I do have bio strip now, so I can strip any model down and start again. But specifically, as I'm waiting for those 2 washes to dry, I do actually have a couple of models available, ready for Sparkles to put together. And then where I put them. Yeah. Now, these are all ready to be made up on spruce. So they need clipping, they need cleaning, they need everything. Now, most of these don't actually require glue either, which would be really easy. But you pretty much just follow the numbers. So 29 is there. There's 28, which will be the other part of it. So there's front and back 28, 30, which will go in the middle. Then there'll be 2 arms round about the same numbers, so 31. And 32 should be somewhere with a gun. There it is. So that's body, the back body, front body, head, arm, gun, backpack, 33. And they just clip, 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 clip. And if you see on the bottom of this here foot here, there's a little nubby bit. That little nubby bit fits perfectly into that little hole. So they're not difficult. These ones specifically are not difficult to put together. And as I said, this one is just one model. I think you have the grand total of no choices to make. Everything literally goes in order. So you clip off 1, which is the head. Then you've got 2 and 3, which is the body. 4, which is the shield arm. 5, which is the gun arm. 6 is his backpack. 7 is his shield. 8 is his sword. And 9 is his little thing that clips into there. And then again, it just goes straight onto the. This one does. Oh. He's got the nubbly thing, but he does not have a hole on his base. So I will have to make a hole on his base. Not a big deal. I can do that. I won't. Let's sparkle up through that one. But the models I've chosen are really simple. If he agrees to do it. And it'll only be a single model as well. I'm not going to sit there and go, right, build all 5 of them. Build the unit. No, I'm not going to do that. Build one, see what you think. Take one, see what you think. And then we'll go from there onwards. Okie dokie. So, blade on his wrist, blades on his back, blade on the tail, quilted armor. Now let's go for the nails. Nails, claws. You know the things I mean, the scratchy bits. And Becca definitely should have done something because there's nothing on these. And she could actually manage to get something that a lot of you really, really, for some reason, have asked for, but you really shouldn't have, which would be for me to sing. And if you would have requested that, say, look, there's nothing on there. If there isn't, then you've got to sing about the fact that there's nothing on there. She would have won that bet because he's now on the legs. And it's something that makes me say, I want to put a bit of colour on it. There's a lot of browns, there's a lot of blacks, there's a lot of earth tones. But I've got 3 satchels. There could be satchels, there could be potions. There's a lot of things they could be. So, out of however many people are watching, I've just realised I'm on. I can go back to that one now. I just realised because it helps me with this screen. Nice little brass bell underneath. The yellow eyes do actually show. Even at that blurry stage, they actually show, which I'm quite happy about. Silver tail shows as well. That bit needs a bit more blacking up. It's a Loki cat or Lykoi cat. It's supposed to be black before anyone says blacking up. You can't do that. It's supposed to be. It's a cat. So no point getting uppity over a feline. So I'm wanting to add some colour, but I'm wanting to add some bright colour. Now I have 3 particularly bright colours. Okay. Sparkles, are you still watching? I hope so. I have pick 3 out of the 4 that I'm about to show you. Because 3 of them are going to be the colours of the pouches. And they're not going to be the nice dull earth tones that I've put on the rest of it. It's going to make sure that these little bags and baubles stand out ridiculously. Because I want to be able to actually see the thing on the... I'm guessing at some point you're going to want me to DM a game for these. So I want to be able to tell where they are on the board, ideally. So we'll have that one. We'll have that one. You can guess the colours. You can guess the colours by what I'm shaking around right now. Because, as I said, there are 4. Oh, to choose from. But I've got to give them a really, really good shake because I don't use these ones very often. Oh, do I want? No, I'll stick with the Templar Guard because it is a purple is not one of the colours. Purple is not one of the colours. Orange and pink are. But the colours I was thinking were a nice, very bright green, a nice, very bright orange, fluorescent pink, and a very, very bright blue. Those were the options I was going to give. So, which of the 3 would Sparkles Oak? Pink, blue, orange. Thank you. So I'll put the pink and blue on one side, I'll put the orange on the other. Because I don't want too many close colours next to each other. And this pink is bright. Down goggles. I need to put a ball or something in there. That pigment's not mixed. Not as well as it should have. So we'll start with, geez, that is a bright pink, isn't it? Wow. Good evening, EB. Good evening, EB. Just let us know if you want to link, dude. Although, in fairness, I'm not far off finishing. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sling it over to you anyway. Just because I know I'm not going to have too much time. If I don't just sling it over now. There we go. Not saying you have to join. Fair enough. So if you're watching a bit of that, that's fine, man. Just give you that option should you wish it. I give that option to a lot of people. I'd be surprised how many people turn me down. Mainly because I ask at inopportune moments more than anything else. Not that they don't like me. It's just, you see, I ask at the most inopportune moments. So it doesn't usually work too well. Unless, like this evening, I actually managed to ask at an opportune moment and get it all set up properly. Which, yes, I know that sounds absolutely ludicrous for me to do, but it happened. You saw it. It was there at the beginning of the stream. I actually had a person ready up with me who was willing and eager to talk if they could ever actually get a word in edgeways with me. I do a lot of talking. I do. Because I'm used to it. Because I'm used to spending majority of this time up here on my own. I'm used to just having me to talk to and then look over and back and back and back and down again. But I do enjoy having people up to talk to. It is nice. And I'm not just saying that. People like Becca or Graham or people who do The Hobbit. I enjoy having other people up with me. So if Alan comes up, or if Tony comes up, or if Mick T comes up, or if Captain comes up, it is just as good. Because it gives me other things to talk about. Not just Warhammer or gaming or D&D or building terrain or various different things. So pink, blue, and orange. So pink needs another coating. Actually, no, I think pink might get away with that, actually. Blue certainly doesn't. And I don't think orange is going to need one either. As you never know what these little round circular things that a rogue is traveling around with are going to contain. Could be a health potion. Could be a mana potion. Could be a poison. Who knows? Apart from the kitty cat. Oh, I don't think she's telling. I really don't think she's telling. Okay, now to have a bit of a scrutiny, bit of scrutinizing. Is there any bits that I think need to be done that I've missed? Such as the metal clasp there. The metal clasp on a collar. So I'm just going to do the full collar metal. And then I'm going to have to come back in with actual black to do the ears. No, it's only under 720 at the moment, so blurring is helping me a lot here. The blurriness of the camera is helping me out an awful lot here. I was about to ask where's my black. How can I lose that black? It's massive. And it is so big that I'm not actually going to pour anything out of this. I'm just going to get some off the general lid because I only need to touch up in here. Just to remove that brown from the ear there. Try not to remove all the light shades from the head if I can. But definitely get underneath. Back of certain areas. After all, these are supposed to be black cats. And I did have a look on the pictures. Some of them look really scraggly. And I prefer this one to be quite a groomed, well looked after. It's just because they're a rogue does not mean they do not know how to clean themselves and groom themselves and look after themselves. That would just be wrong to assume that. So yeah. I'm going to paint his backside a friggin' lot. I know that much. I think this is the most time I've ever spent concentrating on a cat's ass. Not that I concentrate on them off. It's not something I do a lot, but I think this is the most time I have actually spent concentrating on a cat's backside. Okay, so now I need to get that weirdy brown shade back up. I know I said there was nothing actually on here. I mean, stitching is technically still part of the actual boot itself. It's not an extra piece. It's not like Brooke, who had essentially like a gold inlay all across the bottom of his cloak. We're not getting to that level of things yet, but on this one, I am just going to do some basic layering just to show that there is a difference between. I mean, I can't get it to bloody focus. He's doing a damn sight lot better than I am. He was having this conversation. I can't remember. I know I've had this conversation. Alan can fill you in on actually when the conversation was had. But yeah, we was commenting on the fact that I'm propping up everybody. On the fantasy football league. I think I'm 11th out of 14th. And the scary thing is there's only English people below me. All the Americans are above me. I've just found some more of that clothy quilted stuff. I'm in 11th out of 14th. So yeah, I'm doing really well. However, I do have a in my defense statement to make, which is I picked every single player I have. And I know some person and people did not. They picked autofill, which means they got Haaland put in straight away. 11 out of 14. All right, I'm out of the relegation zone, but I'm not doing brilliantly. Let's see now. Yeah, a little bit of that. A little bit of that mixed in with a little bit of that instead. There we go. We should get a nice grey out of that. And that should help highlighting facing with a nice smaller brush. Not now, I can't. No. I mean, I can do transfers now if I can actually remember how to do transfers. But I couldn't when I went and had a look earlier. So, I mean, in fairness, I actually lost my account earlier today and I couldn't log back in to even find out where I was up to. And that was when I was doing the new channel intro video. I pretty much just lost my entire fantasy account and that was it, done. For a bit. So I had to go through all the rigmarole of, right, okay, how do I get my account back? Reset password. And the usual. So yeah, I'm not. I could be doing worse, but I could be doing a lot better. Just having my goalie changed around would have made me do a lot better, in fairness. But at the moment, Pickford's my main goalie, whereas my second goalie is Arsenal's goalie. I should have done that the other way around. And I've not been using things like the boosts for my captain or my subs bench boost, which is what I should really do for my goalie. I should be giving my boosts out properly, but I'm not. So it's kind of my own fault, really. Essentially, if I'm going to play the game, I should play it properly. No, you need pure black in there, don't you? Pure black. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I go out a camera shot? I'm sorry. It is still a bad habit of mine that I do need to get out of, is I need to try and stay in camera shot a lot more often. In fairness, it is something that has been troubling my streams since day one. Okay. That, I believe, is Molly done. So this will only allow me to do 720p. It is literally a force of habit, and I'm on time still, about an hour and a half, so it is still working out about the same length of time. I'm just going to have a quick look at the pink to see if that, yeah, that's going to need another going over, is that? I was kind of hoping I might get away with it. But it appears not. That pink doesn't seem to be coming out right. That pink's not working right. So Molly, get back up there in a minute so people can see what's on the screen. Ali was right to say that if you need to see what I'm painting. I'm going to give this a damn good shake. And hopefully this time it's going to come out as a more pure pink. More like the one I used when I was doing EB Shield. Which I hope you still have, EB. I hope you still have that. I know it's not much, and it's probably something you can launch at the kids quite accurately now. But yeah, this is essentially the same pink that I used on that. Not the same blue, though. I'm using a different blue. Now, in this case, I'm kind of going to not quite stipple it. But kind of blob it so it doesn't spread and leave a dark patch where I don't want it. There we go. That's better. Very bright pink, very bright blue, very bright orange. almost circus-esque colours. I know it kind of, I can't even, got to remember, move the magnifying glasses when you're looking at the screen. Part of the thing that gives you the biggest headache. Now, the big question, pardon me, the big question is, do I think I can get 2 tiny little black dots in her eyes? Now, I've done it on all 3 so far. But this one looks like it might be a bit more difficult. Let's first of all make sure we've got a nice fine point on our brush. A very nice fine point on our brush. Give the black a good shake. Then this should be the last 2 strokes. And this is to the point where I'm going to feel my heartbeat and stroke between them. That's how bad these are. So, hand down grit, hand down solid, good basic, hands touching, paintbrush in the right angle. Paint has dried on my brush in the time that it's taken me to get there. That's not good. Right, let's try this again with slightly wetter paint. How do you get wetter paint? By using the wonderful wet palette. We should keep the paint wetter so I can use it. Gagung, gagung, gagung. Rather than ba-boom, 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 go for gagung, gagung, gagung. But if it's Patrick Swayze, he probably just turned around and went, "Now you're too old." Jeez. I don't know how I've done that, but I've managed it. It looks like the eyes from How You Train Your Dragon. It basically was about the fantasy football earlier and me having trouble logging in. And then complaining and bitching and moaning about it to you for about an hour. Nothing too bad, don't worry. Okay. I am calling Molly. Done. Dun, 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 dun. What I'll do is, because none of these have been done on height have been able to be seen in high def 1080p on this channel at all. So now that I've finished this, what I'm going to do once burgers do sound good. You do like I've not eaten properly for like 3 days and I'm really hungry now. I might just go throw myself into like a bacon, sausage, and egg butty. Yeah, I think that's needed. But before I do that, before I go and enjoy myself a nice, lovely, unhealthy, protein-filled meal, I'm really looking forward to now, and I've only just mentioned it. What I'm going to do is show Molly a little bit in the 720p. That is absolutely ridiculous to see. But I'm also going to put a community post up of a picture of all 4 current painted cats. And then hopefully that'll put up with a 1080, a higher resolution. And I'll just, obviously, I'll say put it over as the models and musings, what's 58, 59, 60, and 61. I think the last 4. So yeah, it references all these in, and I've just noticed a little bit missing off the orange. And this is why I do this little talking and going over and just having a quick look around, make sure I've got everything. So the good thing about the 1080p pictures as well is I get to see anything that I've missed that I would have normally not been able to see, and then go back and go, ah, crap, and realize I've got to fill them all in. So that is what I will be doing immediately after this, to the point where I'm actually just going to start getting them out so I can set this thing up. So they're going to be starting on that again. It's going to be a nice little 4-person party. And I'll take a picture of these, and then I'll have them all up on the community tab, so everyone can actually have a look at them, hopefully in a better quality and a better light. I will be switching them around, so they won't just be sat in a singular pose, don't worry. But next week, it is either going to be, and this is not yet decided, it is either going to be, now where we have Whisper, the Sphinx Sorcerer, or Cleo, the Bengal Ranger. So one of those 2 will be next week. I will have a word with Sparkles Oak, find out which one she wants me to do next. I know Ali was asking, and I think Angie was asking as well, but I'm not sure. I have added to the wish list the other set. I've added volume 2 to my Amazon wish list. I don't know why I'm saying this, because these are the hardest models I've ever had to paint, and I would love to get back to 40k on a much bigger scale. But yeah, volume 2 is on my wish list. So if anybody else is like my missus and wishes to put me through just weird, strange torture, you know how to. But yes, one of those 2 will be up for next week. And until then, thank you everybody for coming to join me. Please check out Demon Becca's channel. As I said, it's mostly unboxing and building, so it won't be painting. But it might give you an idea of, if you wanted to buy if you wanted to get into it, which boxes to buy, which games you might want to buy into. They are good in their simplicity and how basic and that the information comes across. So there's no there's none of my ditheriness to it. So please go check her out, as well as anybody else who you've seen on my channel. If they've got a channel, please go check them out, whether it be Kate Best Carnish, Graham's Hobby Corner, The Eclectic Beard. Mick T doesn't have a channel, so I can't advise you to go there. Captain, of course, everybody knows Captain's got a channel, so please check him out. But other than that, I am going to say thank you for this evening. Thank you for everyone to come and join me, even though I've been in quite a not good enough state, I would say, to actually do this properly tonight. You've all helped me come through it and get through this and do a job to my usual standard, even though I'm not feeling like I could. So thank you all, and drive safe.